Hi, I'm Rhea. I was raised by a single dad, and although he was a big businessman, he cried every time he had to spend a penny. But I was not like that. I was super generous with my things, and this annoyed him. One time when I was 10, we baked a batch of cupcakes from some leftover flour.
Rhea, don't take the whole pack of cupcakes outside. All the neighbor kids will eat it.
But I love sharing, Dad.
Fine. Then that's the last cake that you will bake for this year.
People around me say my heart was exactly like my mom's. She left us when I was 2 because of the way Dad was. But I didn't miss her too much because at school, I was admired by many kids and had my best friend Jack. He was a big science genius and could even mix together healing remedies. One day at the school lab, I made a silly mistake that my hands almost paid for.
Ouch!
In seconds, Jack mixed up some things that instantly healed my hands.
Whoa! Way to go, Jack! Thanks!
Just practice for when I become a doctor in the future. Then I'll always come home to your delicious baked cookies.
You shameless foodie.
Only for foods you prepare.
Jack was totally sweet, and I thought I knew him inside out. But soon, he began to act weird. One evening, he was having his 17th birthday when I arrived with the cake I especially baked for him.
Hey, Rhea, over here.
But before I could reach him, I stumbled and fell into the pool.
I can't swim!
I struggled in the water for just a few seconds before I heard someone dive in and help me out. Before I could process anything else, I was receiving mouth to mouth. I opened my eyes and saw the face of an angel.
Are you okay?
Before I could respond, Jack appeared and pushed the guy away.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
My eyes slid to the guy who had saved me from the water, and he smirked at me, making me forget what I wanted to say.
Little brother, won't you introduce me to your friend?
Little brother? He's your brother?
Unfortunately, yes. That really hurt. Like, right here. Come over here.
Jack's blatant rudeness to his big brother made me blink in surprise, and his hunk of a brother took the insult in stride, like it was an everyday thing.
Bye, pretty nameless friend. I'm Noel.
For the rest of the party, Jack went about all sulky, and when I questioned his attitude, he went off on me.
You were just lying there, letting him kiss you.
Excuse you? I was still in shock from nearly drowning, and that's called CPR, you idiot!
Just... anytime my brother comes that close to you again, run like he's the devil.
Why?
Just do as I say.
I couldn't take the attitude anymore.
You know what? I think I've had enough of this party already!
I stomped out of the party, and just as I was about to enter a cab to go home, a motorcycle stopped right before me. It was Noel.
Hey, need a ride?
I was thrilled with the opportunity to talk to him again, but Jack's warning made me cautious.
Don't worry, I'll take a cab. Thanks.
Come on, I don't bite. Don't mind all the lies my brother spreads about me. He's just jealous.
Why would he be jealous?
Because I'm better looking, and my hair's longer. Why else?
I couldn't resist accepting the ride. Noel was a whole dish of funny. He made me laugh all the way home. We got to my home in minutes.
Whoa, nice place. Your father must be rich.
Thanks. Wanna come in and have, water?
Nah, how about I take you out instead? Next week, my treat.
Despite Jack's warning, I found myself saying yes. We exchanged numbers and he zoomed off. Jack later called to apologize for his moodiness, and I forgave him. But I forgot to tell him about my coming date with his brother because soon we were submitting college applications to countless universities. When I got the invite from my choice university to study baking and pastry arts, I was so ecstatic I rushed home to tell my dad, but he gave me the shock of my life.
Dad! I got in! Woohoo!
And who says you're going to a university? You're going to take over my real estate business, so no need to waste money on something you wouldn't be needing anyway.
What are you saying, Dad? You know I have always wanted to be a pastry chef.
Well, I am sorry, but that won't work. I have other plans.
It felt like the ground had been ripped from beneath my feet.
What other plans? You're just a cruel man that doesn't give a cent about his only child! You have done nothing for me!
I have done everything for you.
Like what? Buy me oversized Barney shoes so it would take me 10 years to grow into it?
It's not... Now's not the time to say it. I
was too mad at him to listen and just left the house. I didn't know where I was going, but in that moment, I wanted to be as far away from Dad. I was nearing the park when a motorcycle sped past me and the rider grabbed my phone.
Thief! Thief!
But to my shock, the rider stopped and pulled off his helmet. It was Noel.
Hey, Rhea.
Have you turned into a thief? Why did you grab my phone?
I was just playing with you. We still have our date tomorrow evening, right?
Yeah.
Cool. See you, mon chéri.
With Dad's words still weighing on my mind, I didn't have much headspace to overthink what had just happened. I called Jack, and we met up at the park.
I can't believe your dad said that.
Beats me.
Well, look, this is your dream. You can't let anyone stop you. Maybe you should think of something you can do to raise enough money to go to college.
There was only one thing I could think of. I can bake mini cakes and sell them.
Bingo! People are gonna love it.
Jack's mom even agreed to help me sell them at her coffee shop. But the next day, when I set to bake the first batch I would sell, my world turned upside down. An hour into baking, I began to feel numbness and tingling in my feet, and soon my vision was all blurry.
Dad? Dad?
My own voice was so tiny to my ears, but thankfully, Dad was close enough to hear me.
Rhea, what's wrong? Honey, talk to me.
Dad rushed me to the hospital, and the doctor diagnosed me with diabetes.
You will have to avoid every form of sugary food to better manage it.
I was crushed. How could I go to a baking school and become a baker if I couldn't eat sweets?
Sweetheart, it's not the end of the world. You can just be a business person like me.
I don't want to be anything like you, Dad. Even if this means I won't become a baker. When did being diabetic mean I can't go to college? Later that evening, I was sitting on the porch trying to figure out what to do when Dad came out too.
Rhea, sweetheart, you don't need to be so upset. It's all for the better, I promise.
The roar of a bike cut him off. It was Noel. And worse, Jack was coming up right behind him.
Hey, babe, ready for our date? I sure hope you can dance.
I was so lost in my thoughts I had forgotten all about our date this evening. I felt a different kind of horror hit me as Jack turned to gape at me.
You're going on a date with my brother?
What's wrong with that? You never told me why—
Send him away. You don't deserve someone like him.
Send him away? Don't talk to me like that. You don't even know what I'm going through right now.
Yes, little brother. Stop treating her like a little girl and get used to the friend zone. Rhea, what is going on here? Stop pretending to be nice, Noel. I know who you truly are. A brave beast, unlike you.
To my shock, Jack roared like a freaking lion and tackled his brother to the ground. Dad managed to pull them apart, and I was so mad at Jack.
You two get off my property right now. I don't tolerate violence of any kind.
Jack can go. He started the fight anyway, but Noel stays.
Rhea, we still have something important to discuss.
If it isn't about you accepting that I'm going to college, then I'm not interested. After Jack left, I canceled the date with Noel in favor of us just hanging around the backyard.
Sorry about that. My brother has got the temper of girls that have lost their makeup.
I was so touched that he was apologizing for his brother's rashness. He's the one that should apologize, not you.
What was that just now with your dad?
I told Noel everything about my issues with Dad and college, and he said the most shocking thing.
If your dad wouldn't give you money for college, then find a way to take his money. Simple.
You mean I should steal his money?
I prefer to use the word borrowing. You can pay your miser of a dad back later if you want.
There's no way I'm taking his money without his permission. His suggestion was crazy, but something happened that made me decide to do it. That same night, for the first time in my life, Dad bought me a box of chocolate and ice cream.
Ta-da!
What's going on? It's not my birthday.
I know, sweetheart. I just want to apologize. I know how much you wanted to go to college and all that, but the truth is, my business is going down. I don't have enough money to sponsor you at college. If I did, why wouldn't I send my only child to college?
My heart broke at the gesture and Dad's sadness. You should have just told me, Dad. I believed Dad completely, because while he was stingy, I had never known him to be a liar. But when I woke up the next day to see if he could let me take on a part-time job so I could help, my jaw dropped at the sight of an open safe filled with money, and Dad was talking about giving it to some girl.
All these years of being tight-fisted is for her, you know. She will be the happy one in the end when I show her.
I steamed with anger. Dad had lied. Not only did he have lots of money, but also wanted to give it all to some girl while denying me college. I couldn't let that happen, and only one option made sense to me. That same day, I called Noel up and we met at a small coffee shop. There, I said the words I would forever regret. I want to do it.
Oh my god, Rhea, please don't propose to me yet.
Propose? You're one crazy dude. you made the suggestion last time. I want to borrow money from my dad. Can you help me?
Sure.
We made our plans, and 2 days later, when I was sure Dad had gone to work, I snuck into his room with Noel in tow. There is loads of money in this safe. We will just take what I need to cover my college fees.
Can you open it?
Just as I punched in the code, Noel suddenly pulled a mask over his face.
Noel, what are you?
A scream left my mouth when 2 other masked guys jumped in from the window.
More, Shelly. Don't worry. We will give your dad the punishment he deserves.
So this is who you really are, a thief! That day on the road, you really wanted to rob me of my phone. Jack was right. You are worse than the devil.
Aw, that's a sweet compliment. Thanks.
I was numb with shock as Noel and his gang packed everything without leaving a cent. He even had the guts to sing to me when they were done. I was still shivering like a leaf when Dad stormed into my room that evening.
Rhea, we have been robbed.
I wanted to pretend I didn't know anything about it, but guilt and fear was eating me up, so I broke down. I confessed to what I had done.
No, Rhea. Why did you do that?
I heard you over the phone talking about saving all the money for some girl. I just wanted a cut to help myself through school.
But Rhea, you're the girl I was talking about. All this while, I've been saving up money for you to run the business with as soon as you graduate high school.
I couldn't believe my ears. All this while, Dad has just been saving up for me. I'm so sorry, Dad. I'm so sorry. Dad quickly set the police on Noel's tail, but weeks passed and he wasn't found. Even his mom didn't know where he was hiding. I couldn't forgive myself, but to my surprise, Dad wouldn't even find fault with what I did.
It's all my fault, Rhea. I shouldn't have left you in the dark or lied. My dad had a lot of money, but he wasted it early in our lives. So by the time I was grown, I suffered to fend for myself. When I had you, I promised I would make you have the most comfortable future, even if it meant some temporary hardship. But somehow, it's good this happened. I know now that I took it too far and made the impression of being a wicked and stingy father.
Nothing you say excuses how I led thieves right into our house, Dad. I am so sorry. I will learn the business. Forget about college. I'll do whatever you want.
What happened to becoming a baker?
I'll have to forget about it. After all, I'm diabetic now.
Or maybe you can research on making desserts that even diabetics can eat. You have no idea how many of them crave stuff like that.
Although we lost a lot of money, the incident made my relationship with Dad better than ever. But I knew I had one more relationship to mend. I went to Jack's place early one morning. I had to apologize for not believing him and sending him out of my house in favor of his criminal brother. Jack, your brother...
I know, I heard.
I should have listened to you.
No, I should have told you the plain truth about who he really is. Noel is the black sheep of our family, and he was just fresh from rehab that day you saw him first. I was just very jealous.
Jealous of what? His long hair?
Ew, is that what that idiot told you? You were obviously charmed by him that day at the pool and...
At the sight of the blush on his cheeks, my eyes widened in realization. Wait, Jack, do you like me? Like, more than a friend?
I'd rather say no if yes will freak you out. I'm a coward in that regard.
Of course not, dork. Just let's take it slow, alright?
Starting with, will you be my date for the prom?
It would be my pleasure. In the end, Dad let me get into college. And when I was done, I took his advice in creating special dessert recipes for people like me. Jack became a doctor. We didn't remain a couple, but we stayed best friends.
How do these sugar-free macaroons taste better than those with sugar?
Secret recipe. Though things worked out in a way for me, I would forever regret letting my anger control my decision. Guys, if you ever get mad like I did with my dad, don't act on it. Find a way to calm down, take a breather, or else he could make a horrible mistake, like I did.